Every year, for 1 month, more than 1 billion people stop eating and drinking from the first light of dawn until sunset. No water, no food, for 30 days. Most people think Ramadan is about the fasting. It isn't. The fasting is a doorway. What it opens onto is a single night. One night, the Quran describes as better than 1,000 months. That is more than 83 years of ordinary time, folded into the dark hours before one dawn. That night has a name. Laylat al-Qadr, the night of decree. And the story of why an entire month is built around it begins in a cave outside a desert city 14 centuries ago. By the end, you'll understand what Muslims are actually reaching for when they go hungry, and why the reason is not hunger at all, but something that happened in the dark on a mountain called Light. Picture Mecca, early in the 7th century. A trading town of stone and heat ringed by mountains, wedged between two exhausted empires, Byzantine Rome to the north, Persia to the east. Its shrine, the Kaaba, held by tradition, 360 idols. Into this world, a man in his late 30s had formed a quiet habit. Each year, he would leave the city and climb to a small cave near the summit of a peak the Arabs called Jabal al-Nur, the Mountain of Light. There, alone, he would sit in the dark and think. His name was Muhammad. Mecca knew him as honest, al-Amin, the trustworthy, but he was not yet a prophet. He had no scripture, no followers, no message. He had questions. And then, tradition tells us, during the month later called Ramadan, in or around the year 610, one of those nights of solitude stopped being ordinary. What happened is preserved in one of the most carefully transmitted reports in all of Islam, narrated by his wife Aisha, may God be pleased with her, and placed at the very opening of Sahih al-Bukhari, the most rigorously authenticated collection of the Prophet's traditions. In the cave, a presence came to him, the angel Gabriel, the same messenger Jews and Christians already knew, and it gave a single command: Iqra, read, recite. The reply was honest. I am not a reader. He could not read. The angel pressed him, an embrace so tight he thought he could not bear it, then released him. Iqra, again the same answer, again the pressing, a third time, and then the words came, the first words of the Quran ever given to him. Read in the name of your Lord who created the human being from a clinging clot. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught the human being what he did not know. He came down the mountain shaken and went home to Khadijah. May God be pleased with her, his wife, and the first to believe in him. She wrapped him in a cloak and brought him to her cousin Waraqa, an old man who had become a Christian and studied the earlier scriptures. Waraqa recognized it at once. This, he said, was the same revelation that had once come to Musa, to Moses. That was the beginning. Over the next 23 years, the rest of the Quran would arrive, verse by verse. But the tradition holds that it started on that night in Ramadan, the night the Quran itself names Laylat al-Qadr, the night of decree, the night of power. There is a short chapter named after it. In it, the Quran says the night of decree is better than 1,000 months. That on it, the angels and the Spirit descend by their Lord's permission, and that it is peace until the break of dawn. This is the heart of the matter. Ramadan is a month built to hold a single night. So why fast? Why should honoring one night require going hungry for 30 days? The Quran ties the two together directly. In its second chapter, Al-Baqarah, it says the month of Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was sent down, a guidance for people and a criterion between right and wrong. And then, in the same passage, so whoever among you witnesses the month, let him fast it. The fast is not punishment. A few verses earlier, the reason is given plainly. Fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may become mindful of God. The Arabic word is taqwa, God consciousness, the awareness of being seen. Hunger, in this reading, is a tool. Strip away food, drink, comfort, and the appetite that quietly runs a person's day, and what is left is attention. The month clears the noise so that its one night can be heard. And the Quran adds a mercy in the same breath. God intends ease for you, not hardship. The sick and the traveler are excused. There is one more turn. The Quran never says which night it is. The traditions place it in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, on an odd-numbered night. The 21st, the 23rd, the 25th, the 27th, the 29th. Many scholars lean toward the 27th, but they have never agreed. One early commentator counted as many as 40 different opinions, and the uncertainty seems to be the point. Because no one is told the exact night, the seeker has to stay awake through all of them. You cannot circle one date on a calendar and simply show up. You have to want it enough to search the whole final stretch of the month, in the dark. Here is what most people miss. Fasting was never presented as something new. The Quran says so outright, prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you. Islam placed itself, deliberately, inside an older stream, and the connections are real. When the Prophet came to Medina, he found the Jewish community fasting on a day they said mocked Moses and his people being saved from Pharaoh. And he fasted it too, saying he had even more right to Moses than they did. That report sits in both Bukhari and Muslim. Moses, in the Torah, fasts 40 days on the mountain. Jesus, Isa, honored in Islam as one of the greatest prophets, fasts 40 days in the wilderness before he begins to preach. Christians still keep a season of fasting called Lent. Muslim, Jew, and Christian reach for the same instrument. Empty the body and the soul begins to listen. Ramadan is not a break from that tradition. It is a continuation of it. You have probably seen the outside of this. A co-worker who skips lunch for a month and won't take water at their desk. A neighborhood that goes still by day and comes alive after dark. Long tables, dates broken open at sunset. Mosques full at hours when the rest of the city sleeps. Whole streets that reorder their clocks around a single moment. The call to the sunset prayer, when a fast held all day is finally broken with a sip of water and a date, the way it has been broken for 1400 years. What looks from the outside like doing without is, from the inside, a reaching toward. The hunger was never the destination. It was the road to the night, so when you hear that Muslims fast for a month, remember what the month is actually for. Not hunger for its own sake, not endurance. A whole community dimming the lights of ordinary life for 30 days, straining to catch one night they cannot even see clearly. A night the Quran calls better than 1,000 months, more than a lifetime of ordinary time, waiting in the dark of a single one. They fast the month to be awake for the night, and they search the night, because they were told the light is somewhere inside it.